What's going on, guys? No AF here, and well, thank you guys so much on all the support. We finally reached 100 subs. It's actually kind of crazy. I know a lot of YouTubers say this, and even me saying this now is a bit of a cliche, but thank you guys so much. Just thank you guys. And yeah, this definitely brings a lot of hope for me being more of a content creator in the future. Sorry for this video being a bit later than I expected. It's just a matter of getting around to it, and I finally had a day off of work, so I thought now would be a perfect time for me. Anyway, enough said. I won't waste any of your time, but if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, as it really does help the channel and help me as a content creator stay more motivated. And look at me now, I'm 100 subs. Come on, let's get to 200, guys. Anyway, enough being said, let's get into the combos. The first combo I'm going to do is just requiring one Ichichi. This is your basic one-card combo for your deck. It's play Ignister, you gotta know this combo. And yeah, so let's get into it. So, also Ichichi. Ichichi, grab the card. You're going to link off into the copy of Infant effect. It's going to grab your island. Activate island, special summon this effect. Grab I meet you. And then you're going to just reveal Templar. Enter Doyon. Now we're going to go into the Wicked. You're going to special summon Doyon. 1, 2. Cost. This will add your Chi-Chi. And this will add your BRRR. Now I'm going to link these into the transcode. We're going to use the effects of Doyon. Let's grab this I meet you. If you feel they have nib, you're going to make the heat soul instead. And then you're going to use heat soul. And then you're just going to go end of main. And they're going to say either okay, or they're going to nib you here. If they nib you here, you'll have 4 other cards. You have 7 cards in your hand right now. So you have 4 other cards in your hand, because this is a 1-card combo. You'll have 4 other cards in your hand, and if they nib you end of main, you're back in main phase. Well, of course you change your heat soul, right? And then we'll have 8 cards in hand, which is absolutely ridiculous to play around nib. And if any of those, like 2 or 3 of those, should be hand traps pretty much. And so, since those are hand traps, we can pretty much play around Nibiru and still end on a decent-ish board with lots of follow-up. Like, we have 2 follow-up cards in our hand for next turn. So even if they do manage to break the heat soul, which honestly everyone should know how to break the heat soul, super easy. But yeah, if they manage to break your board, but they won't be able to OTK definitely, but they might set up one of the 2 negates, which you can easily just bait out and just go with access code push. But otherwise, we make transcode. And then where you'll use Island to summon out your BRRR mill. We're going to then use transcode to bring back your Wicked. Remember, if you go to end phase, you do take the 23 if you don't make Templar. So you have 2 choices. We're going to either make the Templar and risk our combo, or we can just go into a 3k arrival. If we're playing Flunder, we just make the 3k arrival. This way we get to keep 2 cards in our hand for follow-up. And make an unbeatable boss monster, since they can't tribute this with their continuous, or use Stormforth. Even though, because it's an effect, this card's unaffected, so keep that in mind. The worst part about Arrival is that its highest rarity is a super rare. Its only rarity is a super rare. That's the problem with this card. If this card was higher rarity, I would definitely be playing this deck more. But yeah. I play this deck. Yeah, usually a 3k arrival is enough to push some people in an uncomfortable position where you can use your Danmari negate engrave. and keep your 2 hands, and if they let you go to transcode and they're waiting for the Dark Templar to nib, you can manage to get a 3k off and then just pass your turn, and then you'll have again you'll have 6 cards in your hand, so you don't have to discard. And a Denmar negate engrave. So if we have 2 hand traps, then we have around 3 interruptions, which is again pretty damn solid. Otherwise, we can continue our combo and play stress-free, knowing your opponent has absolutely nothing. Is Island Effect special. We're gonna link 1 for the copy of Infant. 1, 2. Well, since this is a 1 effect, your opponent has the priority to respond to this, because ifs and wins can miss timing. So if your Templar gets hit with an imperm or a bell, then your infant cannot Shifty Boy and turn himself into Divine since it missed timing because it's a what effect. But otherwise, you know, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Shifty Boy, Divine. And again, 1, 2, 3. Going to then synchro these 2 off. We're going to go into our copy of Wind Pegasus, utilizing the BRRR to bring back the Bakari. You can use Bakari's effect to turn things to level 4 if you're going second, and you manage to get this off, which you'll never, but, you know, you can go into Light Dragon here using these 2, after you pop back and whatnot, or honestly, you can do whatever. But in the event you want to actually extend into a bigger into a bigger arrival, here's a trick that I like to do. For example, if you know they can easily beat 4k but can't beat a 5k, we just Splash Mage effect, target whatever. And then now we can legally use all our monsters on board. Since we have a 2 plus 4 equals 6, so we're able to go into a link 6. So this is how you make a 5k. Go into 5k. But in the event that we don't go into a 5k, instead go to 4k because we know we're against Flunder or something, we'll just make we'll basically have an extra Splash Mage extra deck and then have Link Revo out. This way we have a 4k arrival in Link Revo, or just a 5k arrival with more resources used, of course. Slightly more, 1 Splash Mage used. Which we still have tons of card in our extra deck for follow-up. As also as another card to grab us advantage if we need it. So yeah, keep that in mind. The next combo I'm going to show you is the I Meet You combo. This card is surprisingly a 1-card combo. It's a really strong one too. I had someone reach out in the comments, so I was a bit wrong about this card, because I didn't really know about the other combo. And it's a pretty based combo if I say so myself. So I might as well show it to you. So you're going to I Meet You. We are going to reveal our fire. We will be taking 23 this turn. We'll add our Chi-Chi here. This combo can play around hand traps if you have extenders and whatnot, but we're just going to focus on doing the combo here. Chi-Chi effect. Grab card. You're going to link 1. We're going to go into the infant. Effect infant. We're dead here if we get ashed. But if we already have an island, then we can go safely into this combo. Activate island. Island effects summon Bakari. Bakari effect. Add your copy of Idle Reborn. It has to be Idle Reborn here. It's really important. We're going to then link these 2 into the Wicked. Activates Reborn to bring back the card. Wicked effect will banish the infant. To grab the copy of BRRR. There's that boy. We're going to then go into a copy of Splash Mage. Activate Island to special summon Boo. BRRR will then send the Doyon. It's really important that we send Doyon here. Splash Mage will provide the Doyon. You might be asking, so do we get the Denmark engraved? I'll show you a trick how we can actually get it. We're gonna go synchro into our Wind Pegasus, which BRRR will revive the Doyen. Remember, BRRR revives, but not negates the effect. So it's really important. Since we can use the Doyen's effect to add back our normal summon, which now we can link all these three off to, oh boy, Templar. Don't forget Doyen's Grave effect. Actually, we want, yeah, we forgot. Add our normal summon. And so, yeah, we'll add the, not the Amichu. We add the Idol Reborn. Remember, we don't really have a follow-up, since we don't grab back the follow-up. Which is good if you have another card for follow-up. Like, let's say if you have 2 Amichu, you can do this combo. And then, so, Island Effect, summon out your Kari, and then link this one off for the infant. 1, 2. Shifty Boy, Divine. Summon 3. Then now, we're going to link all these off. Make sure we get the BRRR engraved. We're just gonna go into an Arrival 4K. Then we're gonna link 1 into our Ling Baribo. And set the other Reborn. On their turn, we'll activate said Ida Reborn. We're going to target our BRRR with Special Summon. And effective BRRR will then grab us a copy. We'll send the copy of Danmar. And this way, we still get the 4K Arrival with the Danmar engraved with 4 other cards in hand. So one of them could be follow-up or whatever. And we will be taking 23 at the end phase, but that's okay. It's still pretty good board. And we feel pretty strong about our board right now. Yeah, unaffecteds are kind of hard out. The next combo I want to show you guys is how to play around hand traps. So this deck can be particularly hard to hand trap, especially if we get Bakari first. If you have like Bakari Ichichi, we just drawn the nuts, right? We can pretty much play around through Ash, not through Droll. Well, we could probably set up a board through Droll. But yeah, we're going to focus on what we do if we get hit. So first off, we're going to start off normal summon with Ichichi. Ichichi, of course, will grab Bakari. If we get Drolled, we kind of cry, since we can't do anything. Unless we have another extender in hand. But let's say this gets ashed. If you do the 1-card combo, you're dead here. You get ashed, you kinda can't do anything. It's a very common ash. They'll Imperm Veiler this too. It's solid. But let's say if we have any extender. Let's say we have Yari. And then special Yari. We can, you know, overextend here. Get Chi-Chi, well, Kachiri target. Just because we can, right? And then we're going to go straight up into our Splash Mage. Splash Mage will target the Yari. Or actually, we're going to target the Kachiri. So that way we can end on unaffected Hitsu. That's if we draw a Chi-Chi and Extender. And honestly, it doesn't matter if this card's unaffected or not. It just means they can't Veiler this. And this way we get the draws anyways. So, this could be 2 Imperms, 2 Veilers, or whatever. Your mileage may honestly vary here. But yeah, you can, this might be whatever. But yeah, through an Ash, it's pretty strong. Where it normally would kill you, you just need 1 Extender to build at least some sort of board. Which is why this deck is really resilient, is because we get the Heat Soul. And if you draw an additional extender, we can just set up maybe Transcript Heat Soul, which is a little bit better, and of course a little stronger. Yeah, like I said, it's honestly up to you and how you play this deck. You can play this deck to be Heat Soul Turbo, or you can play this deck like Towers deck, or Heat Soul with the Towers option. It's honestly up to you. The next time I'm going to be showing you guys is Bakari Chi-Chi. Again, we will be playing through Disruption. So, The best way to tell that your opponent has disruption is to play through the worst case circumstances always. What I mean by that is, assume your opponent has the nuts. Draws Droll, Nibiru, Imperm Veiler, right? Or Ash Veiler, or whatever. Of course, there's no way we play through that hand. Just because of Nibiru. Like, Droll Nibiru are like the worst combo against your deck. You die if you get Droll Nib. You kind of just lose. Unless you're against a very bad player, then you can obviously win. It's just because Heatzel takes around 5 summons. If it didn't, then we could just... If Heatzel took 4 summons, Heatzel pass would be fine, because Nibiru would be dead. Right? So, that's the only problem, is that Droll Nib, Droll hurts your deck. You can't extend, you can't use your resources to play around Nibiru, because you really need them. But yeah, assuming our opponent has, let's say, a Droll. Of course, the best, if you see this, I'm almost on the Picari always. Picari is the most important card in your deck. You're gonna grab Island. You get Drolled here. So now, we're gonna link 1 into the Lingreva. Activate Island, special summon a Chi-Chi. You're gonna link 2. Splash Mage. Splash Mage will target this, whatever. Heatzel pass. We lose the follow-up, but we have the island in the field. And we require Heatzel's draw on their turn. We'll have 3 other cards, 4 in their turn. And then, if that is a hand trap, then 5 on, and then 4 on our turn again. But yeah, we rely on Heatzel if we get Trolled. But if you draw an additional extender, like if you draw this, and extender, then we just basically just keep the Chi-Chi in hand for next turn, and then we special summon the extender or the other name, right? That way we can keep the Chi-Chi for the follow-up turn, so that way we can continuously grind with our opponent. So we can just summon starter after starter until eventually they run out of Drolls and resources. And we hope to hand trap them at their choke point, so that way we can effectively get them to pass turn, so that way we can get our effects up. And keep on doing that until we win. Because Heatzel allows you to generate just so much advantage. Just drawing cards is extremely powerful. Drawing into potential hand traps is extremely powerful. The best way to play this deck is just to play it and to test out whatever and to play on the fly. I've never won against people who draw a beard draw. I've never won against them unless I have a cross out. If I have cross out, I cross out the draw, because that will be first. You add a card, you'll get drawn. Yeah, this hand can also play through this hand can also play through so much. You can play through Ash, Veiler, Imperm. I think that's pretty much it for this deck. There's not really much else I can teach you about this deck. Like, it's all just experience, right? And knowing how to play the game and knowing how to bait out certain things. We lose to a certain amount of hand traps. I've played through 3 hand traps and still ended on Heatzel. Of course, that required like 3 extenders, and they were hand trapping poorly on their part. However, if they know how to play against your deck, which is sometimes an odd occurrence, but if you're in Top Gut, then, you know, that might change. So, it's just about knowing your weaknesses so you can overcome. But this deck is a really, really strong deck, and not a lot of decks can out towers. However, Dragon Link has come up very recently, and it's very formidable against this deck, since they have access to Borrelsword and Axis Code. Those 2 cards are very scary against your rival. The only reason is because they set up Omni Negates and OTK. So if they set up a Savage and, let's say, an Axis Code, your rival's dead. It's just dead. But that being said, you do get the follow-up and you do get to spin their cards if they're destroyed because of Wind Pegasus. But if they have hand traps on top of that, it's like kind of like you're not in a winning position. Dragon Link is probably your worst matchup just because of how well that deck resources. It's crazy. You either have to hand trap them really well or you somehow out-resource them, which never happens. That deck is just, that deck has too much gas. It's got too much gas. Similar thing with Punkthyrion. I could be hand trapping poorly since I'm not super familiar with that matchup, although I feel like I did pretty okay against them. It's just a matter of hitting their resources with Crow, getting rid of their Chaos Ruler and Grave, so they can't special another thing, right? Still just learning how to deal with that. All the stuff I took from Dragon Link. It pretty much plays super similarly Dragon Link, Punkthyrion, so with the mills and the ports. Except a little different since they set up Scythe. Yeah, this is the deck I took to my regionals, and I performed really well. Again, I lost a lot of stupid matches just because I forgot some effects engraved, which is one of this deck's weaknesses, is that it has a lot of grave effects. It's not really a weakness, but it's a weakness on the player part because you have to know all of them, and even I forget it sometimes. But that might just be me. But yeah, grave effects have always kind of been an issue, especially if I don't know the card or practice that card has grave effects or whatnot. Because you just gotta practice, right? And they just hardly come up, but sometimes they do, and they can win you that extra match, like Idle Reap on grave effect. Banish, add something from graveyard. Well, I think it's banish 2, and then banish 1 from hand, 1 from grave, and then add 1 from grave to hand. Add an AI split trap from grave to hand. Which would have won me a match. Last besides the point. I would have won anyways if I resourced a bit better and just drew better and drew the damn out. But yeah. This deck is powerhouse against Branded Despia. Pretty good against Sword Soul. Flunder is an easy 2-0 if they don't draw Deep Shifter. Even if they do, they kind of have trouble outing Heat Soul sometimes. Because, you know, you just draw a hand trap, draw 2 Valor, win. Or draw Ash, win, you know? But yeah, of course, that's just my opinion. And I got some really spicy decks coming up. Oh, there's some spice. And yeah, I'll definitely be showing you guys the deck I got first place locals with. It's a Cyberse deck. In my opinion, one of the best Cyberse decks I've ever played. Just fun-wise and actual capability. It's really powerful and has no business being this good, but it's hilarious and I love it to death. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for getting me to 100 subs. 101 subs to be exact of making this video, of course. And I'm really excited to see what you guys can get me to in the future. 200 subs might be doable. But yeah, just thank you guys so much, and I really do look forward to the future. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help the channel and help me stay motivated to get you that awesome content. And well, I think with all that being said, I will see you in the next video.